Turning to the asylum seeker crisis, and time has run out for some migrant families who've stayed in shelters for 60 days. They packed up and left the Row Hotel in Midtown Manhattan. Mayor Adams imposed a limit on how long families can stay in the shelter system as it reaches capacity. 40 families forced out today. Meanwhile, an investigation underway into the city's new 60-day limit at shelters. Eyewitness News reporter Joe Torres live outside the hotel in Midtown with the very latest. Joe.
David, just another leg on the migratory journey for so many of those 40 families who started their day here at the Row Hotel in Midtown. They will end their day who knows where. That uncertainty, and according to the New York City Controller, that cruelty is why he launched an investigation that will examine the policies and protocols of the administration regarding this crisis, policies and protocols that he says have been poorly communicated. After a lengthy journey from Venezuela, a 5-month stay at the Row Hotel in Midtown, and the daily challenges of life in a foreign country, 26-year-old Maria Quero and her 39-year-old husband David Dominguez packed their bags and made their way to the Roosevelt Hotel. They are among the roughly 40 families who today reached the mayor's 60-day shelter limit. They will now reapply for an extension, something they desperately need considering Maria is 8 months pregnant. It's complicated, said the mother-to-be, who's expecting her first child. We don't know what's going to happen with us. That's the most complicated part. There is no information about what could happen. They simply say you have to go, gather your belongings, and move on. That's the only information they give. And it's that lack of information and communication that prompted the New York City Controller to take action. Brad Lander told reporters this morning he will launch an investigation into the city's implementation of the 60-day rule.
On top of its cruelty, it has been poorly communicated, so families aren't aware of their options. They don't know what's necessary to continue to shelter.
The mayor and his staff insist there has been an exit planning team that has met several times with at least one adult from each of the families that were forced to evict today, all to go over what are the options moving forward down the road. Mr. Domingos told us that hasn't been his experience, and with a wife 8 months pregnant, about to give birth to their first child, he says the options for him are pretty simple. We need a room tonight.
Hey there, Patriots. This is True Outlaw Patriot coming at you with another one. The clip I just played you, obviously, you guys can understand what's going on. It seems like, once again, okay, Mayor Adams is, pulling a fast one over Americans and migrants, pulling the veil over people's faces, doing the old rope-a-dope, whatever you want to call it. Okay, just like a Democrat. Like I said before, always making promises they can't keep. But before I dissect into this and show you the next couple of clips, as you can read in my title, why I put down what the mayor and the Democrats are up to. Okay, I just want to thank all my new subscribers and all my subscribers to both my YouTube and my Rumble channel. So don't forget to comment, like, share, subscribe, and give it a thumbs up. Pass it around. Let everybody know what's going on. And if you want to help support the channel, I'll leave a link in my description to my Cash App and PayPal. So getting back into this, there's a couple of things here that that I'm not liking, obviously, and I know a lot of people are not going to like it either. Okay. Okay, you hear the situation. Okay, these people came from another country. I like the way that the news reporter, phrases it, like, after a long, arduous journey, and they come here, and, after 5-6 months or whatever the case is of them staying somewhere, now they're being kicked out. And the kicker of it all is that she's 8 months pregnant. Okay. So before I offend any women, I just want to say I'm not trying to offend this woman. Okay. I think that women having babies obviously is one of the greatest gifts God could give anybody. a husband and a wife, a family. I mean, I always say life is precious, but I'm going to just say it straight out right now. This is what I don't understand. If you're coming from another country with nothing in your pocket, okay, and you know that things might be a little hard, what will compel you to go and get pregnant? Okay? I mean, it's an honest, obvious question. Anybody that's going to watch this video or watch the news clip is going to ask the same thing. So, you came on a journey not knowing where you were going to end, what was going to happen. Why would you go? And like I said, I'm not trying to offend anybody. God knows. I mean, life is precious. But why would you go and be so, how can I say, and I want to be careful here. I want to say careless. And I don't mean that in a bad way. It's just that if you know that you're going on a journey that you don't know exactly what the end result is going to be, why would you go and make a decision like that? Okay? Because I, for one, if I knew that I was trekking it through different countries just to get to a endpoint, once again, why would I want to go and do and put myself in a situation that is going to put another human being in harm's way? Case in point, look what's happening. That's the first thing. The second thing, for the husband to come out and say that, oh, they need a room tonight. It's like, yeah, well, guess what? I hate to burst your bubble, but there are hundreds of thousands of Americans that are homeless and they don't have a room, and they don't have the luxury of demanding anything because the government won't give it to them. That's number two. Number three, I like the way the city controller is going out of his way to find out what's going on and get to the bottom of this and try to help out these migrants. I wonder if he goes out of his way to help out the taxpaying Americans that have fallen on hard times in New York, that are getting evicted and their time is running out because the courts can't give them any more time to stay where they're at. I wonder if he's taking out the damn time to do that for the taxpayers that are paying his salary. That's number three. Number four, did you see the black guy in the background yelling, "I support Mayor Adams"? See, this is why so many people are having a hard time with the Democrats, because you have idiots like him knowing very well what's going on, saying that he still supports the mayor. Well, good luck on that, buddy, because if they want to take your spot and give it to a migrant, that's exactly what the hell they're going to do. Okay? I tell you, some people these days, no matter what you put in their face, they stand by a ignorance is bliss mentality that is just beyond me. It's just beyond me. Okay, so with that being said on this video, like I said in my title, the Democrats only care about the votes. They've lied about everything. They keep lying. Now you have all these people that are being kicked out. They have nowhere to go. They're going to hit the streets. Is the beginning of winter, basically. Okay, there's still about a good 2.5 months to go, easily, especially in New York. But they don't care, and I've been saying it in a lot of my videos. The Democrats don't care. All they want is the vote. They don't care about Americans. They don't care about the migrants. No matter how much everybody's pushing back, they just don't care. They're going to keep forward with this agenda, no matter what. By hook or by crook, they want to hold on to power. And they want to sway the next election. That's just the bottom line. Okay, and the reason why I bring that up is because of the next two clips I'm going to show you. And keep this in mind, that the Democrats in Georgia were in an uproar about certain senators and Congress people wanting to run in different districts. They said that it was racist. They said that, they're trying to steal the vote, whatever the case is. So that's a no-no. You can't do it. They're going to bitch and moan. That's not how it's done. Okay. If there's any truth to that, then okay, I can stand by that. You don't want to persuade a vote. But I'll get to that in a minute. The next clip I'm going to show you shows you how much the Democrats don't care, okay, about migrants. So here we go. Now this news feed came out 9 hours ago. Here we go.
Investigators have concluded that Mayor Adams, former top official for Homeless Services, displayed a lack of transparency and delayed the disclosure of legal violations in the shelter system back in the early days of the migrant crisis.
The DOI probe was opened in response to reporting by the News 4 I-Team. Our Melissa Russo uncovered the violations and allegations of a cover-up, and she's here with what investigators found. Melissa?
Well, investigators, Gilma, found that former Social Services Commissioner Gary Jenkins downplayed the violations and made a decision to delay disclosing them, leaving City Hall and Mayor Adams, at least partially, in the dark. It was July of 2022. News of the migrant influx into city shelters was just breaking. In our very first interviews with migrants, family after family described sleeping for days on benches and floors without enough food here at the city's homeless intake office known as The Path.
The people said that there was no space. There was a lot of people on the floor. No lie. There was at least 80 people. My wife is crying.
Leaving families here in this office instead of in proper shelter is a legal violation that city officials try to avoid. In decades past, it's landed them in contempt of court. But while then Social Services Commissioner Gary Jenkins knew about the situation, a new report by the city's Department of Investigation found Jenkins, at a minimum, appeared to minimize, if not misrepresent, the circumstances. The report says he made a decision to delay disclosing those circumstances to the Legal Aid Society and sent only partial information up the chain of command to City Hall in a vague text message.
In our view, the explanation given for the delay was not sufficient.
As a result, the DOI report says City Hall did not have a complete understanding of what was occurring until public reports aired on News 4.
I-Team report shined a light on what some migrant families are encountering,
leaving Deputy Mayor Ann Williams-Isom frustrated that City Hall was ill-prepared to respond, according to the report.
We violated the letter of the law, but the spirit of the law, we got people housing.
The DOI opened this investigation several weeks.
Did you guys hear that? He said, we violated the letter of the law, but in the spirit of the law, we provided housing. Straight from a Democrat's mouth. We're going to break the law, okay, in the name of good. But when somebody who's not a Democrat, a leftist, a socialist, a communist does it, right away they throw the book at him and want him in court and want them put in prison. But let's continue.
Weeks later, after we broke another story, Commissioner Jenkins fired his chief spokeswoman, Julia Savelle. Text messages we obtained showed Savelle had been warning City Hall that Jenkins was trying to cover up violations in his system. Gary was trying not to tell City Hall we broke the law. I got yelled at for telling you. But the DOI declined to take sides on the question of whether Savelle was fired because of unprofessional behavior, as Jenkins claimed, or because she tried to blow the whistle on a cover-up. The report says there was evidence to support both sides.
We were ultimately not able to make that determination. Obviously, her claims did bring certain issues to light.
In response to the DOI report, Jenkins issued a statement saying he had been cleared of any wrongdoing and that he communicated transparently to City Hall. But Commissioner Jocelyn Strouber disputed this characterization.
Was he cleared of any wrongdoing? What we do is find facts, and the facts that we found were that he was not fully transparent. So to the extent that his statement suggested that we found him to be fully transparent, that's not accurate.
Jenkins left city government almost a year ago, and Savelle is ineligible for whistleblower protection, according to the DOI, because they say she reported her complaints to City Hall informally instead of formally to them. The report also concluded that the violations at the time, though a small number, were underreported, and they recommended changes to the city's record-keeping processes in the shelter system. Gilman.
Okay, there you go. Once again, showing the proof. This is not by Fox News. This is by the mainstream media, Channel 4, their I-team. Okay? And them saying that, oh, you know what, Mayor Adams may or may not have known. That's all bullshit. He knew. They all knew. They all know. They know what they're doing. Okay? So now an investigation is going to go on. There's going to be taxpayer money spent on that. I mean, it's just non-stop with these freaking Democrats. Non-stop of their corruption. Lying to each other, lying to the American people, lying to City Hall, and it goes on and on and on and on. Lying to the migrants. I mean, they just don't quit, man. They just don't quit. And people are probably wondering, but why would they do that if they're, you know, if they're so adamant about helping people? I mean, you know, they're the party of love and helping people and reaching out. It's because it's only for the vote. They don't care about the migrants. They don't care about Americans. They're all in on it. The city controller, the mayor's office, the governor, everybody on that left-hand side. The district attorney, I mean, the corruption, it goes from the crime in the street to the migrants to not allocating the right money for American taxpayers, the ones that are struggling. I mean, now they're taking over. They want to start taking over the schools when they can, just to house the migrants in case there's a storm. I mean, it goes nonstop. It just goes nonstop. And this whole thing about, that they didn't know that they downplayed all these violations. Does it remind anybody of anything? Does Brandon Johnson in Chicago ring a bell when he wanted to build that tent city? And the people in Chicago were protesting because they knew that there was chemicals poured onto that property. And they just went and threw some like sand and gravel over it with no human regard, with no health safety regards towards the migrants. They didn't want to send them back. No matter what happens, we got to keep them here. Why? Because it's for the votes. And if you don't believe me, okay, I'll show you the next clip. Here we go. Now this next clip I got from Memology 101. He put it out about 3 days ago. Go to his channel, show him some love, or her channel. I really don't know who it is exactly, but this was a online video meeting or video call back in 2021, but it's resurfacing again. Okay, resurfacing again. So when the left comes out and says about Republicans wanting to redistrict because it's racial and they're trying to steal the vote or whatever the case is, I want everybody to pay close attention to this video clip. It's only 1 minute, 12 seconds long. Let's go.
Our last questions will come from Congresswoman Yvette Clarke, representing the 9th Congressional District of New York. Congresswoman Clarke, you have 5 minutes.
What role do you believe members of the Haitian American diaspora here can and should play in assisting the effort to stabilize and rebuild Haiti? I'm from Brooklyn, New York. We have a diaspora that can absorb a significant number of these migrants. And when I hear colleagues talk about the doors of the inn being closed, no room in the inn, I'm saying, I need more people in my district, but just for redistricting purposes. And those members could clearly fit here. But would you please respond? And I yield back after that, Mr. Chairman, and I thank you for your indulgence. I need more people in my district, but just for redistricting purposes. And those members could clearly fit here.
Okay, so you heard that. Her words. Okay? So they want them. She wants the migrants in her district. Haitians. Okay? And that's for basically what? To steal the vote. To redistrict. To hold on to power. It's what it's all about. Okay? So not only is a Democrat who the Democrats complain about Republicans doing stuff like this is clearly doing it. It's racist because she only wants the Haitians in that district. It's against the law because now she wants to bring in migrants that probably should be vetted and checked out, and if they can't stay, they have to be sent back. But no, she goes, we clearly have the room. And it's anti-American. Because instead of her trying to get Americans into her district, she's like, no, don't worry about the Americans. We got no room for them, but we clearly have plenty of room for the migrants. Now, some people may say, well, this was 2 years ago. Yeah, it was 2 years ago. What has changed? What has changed? The fact that there's what? Over 160,000 migrants that arrived, so they say. Because at this point, you can't believe a damn word what they're saying. If it's 160,000 that came in, you might as well say it's like 3 million, in all honesty. Because you can see from the video clips, okay, that they just keep lying. They're lying to the migrants, they're lying to Americans, they're lying to each other, they're lying to City Hall. It just goes on and on and on and on. And why this woman would even let herself be recorded like this without realizing, does she even understand what she's saying? Does she hold no fault in any of this? Does she truly think that what she's doing is okay? When the law states there's so many people on both sides of the political spectrum that argue about this. They fight about this redistricting and how they manipulate it. But coming from a Democrat, I mean, they just don't care. They don't care. They don't care about Americans. They don't care about the migrants. They only care about holding on to power. Like Mayor Adams, not too long ago, when he said that he wanted, what was it? I think it was 80,000 or 800,000 migrants to have, to be able to vote. It's like they haven't earned the right to vote in this country, but they just want to push it. The same thing with AOC. She wants to go and give away she doesn't want to send the migrants back. She says that's inhumane. What we need to do is give out 500,000 work visas, their work permits, so they can stay and work, which makes them what? Eligible voters at some point. See, they don't care. It's all about the freaking votes and holding on to power. And by hook or by crook, like I've been saying, they're going to try to steal the next election and every small election in between. The mayor, the governor, whatever it is, they're going to try to steal as many as they can, and they're going to try to do it with the migrant vote, which makes it illegal. And it's not just here. It's in Chicago. I guarantee you. California, of course, we already know that. I guarantee you Colorado's going to be the same. Philadelphia, Oregon, South Carolina, North Carolina, I believe. There's like one section where migrants, illegals, are writing and sending messages back home saying, if you come to America, come to this section. I believe it's South Carolina. Come here because they are accepting illegals here. They're going there en masse. It's all about the vote, man. They don't care about human life. Once again, when people come out and say, oh, where's the humanitarian, aspect out of all this, it was never meant to be humanitarian. There is nothing humanitarian about it. They don't care. They're not. First of all, I hate to say it this way, But you have to be human in order to have any kind of humanitarian values. Obviously they're human, but you have to have a damn heart to understand what the hell's going on and say this is wrong. But they don't care. But anyway, that's what I got for you. Don't forget to comment, like, share, subscribe, pass it around. This is getting more and more out of control, people. I mean, there's so much news coming out by the hour every day that it's hard to keep up with it. It truly is. But, you know, I try. And there's a lot of other content creators out there doing the same. So, once again, I want to thank all my subscribers. If anybody cares to help support the channel, you can subscribe, and or you could donate to my Cash App and PayPal. There's a link in my description. So remember, people, you have to keep a close ear to the ground and keep eyes close on the ballot boxes when the time is coming. When the time is right, I should say, because it's coming. So remember, stay vigilant, keep praying, and keep praying for each other. Peace.